My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, and this is my Makeup Monday for Monday the 4th of November 2024. So welcome. Today I'm going to do a technique. It's something I saw, it was a reel I saw come up on Instagram, I think it was, and it wasn't from a Stampin' Up demonstrator, it was from some artsy sort of person. And I thought, I have to give that a go. So we're going to do a technique today, not a fun fold. I know, shock horror. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay, so this was what I saw on the reel when I saw it. And I thought, that is so cool. Can you see? I've done balmy blue on this. So the rings for the wreath are a little bit pale. And I used the 2-inch square punch for my sentiment, but I wasn't real happy with that. I wanted it to be more on the, like just a 1-layer card. So then I kept playing, and I kept playing. So this was another one where I did the leaves and the berries all the way around the wreath, and the splattering's really fun. This was another one. I only did half on that one, and I've used retired stamp sentiments stamp sets for these ones because they just work so good with this technique. This was another one where I did the full wreath, and I was just then started playing with colors, so I did half wreath, but I did the right hand side instead. So I just started playing with colors. I was getting a bit creative and into a right mess. So we're going to make 2 cards today. I thought I'd do one landscape and one portrait, and I'm just wondering if I use the same glass. That might have been the bigger glass there, so I think that's the bigger glass, but that's okay. And I've got my colors out. So this one was Night of Navy, Shy Shamrock and Balmy Blue. This one is Mossy Meadow, Old Olive and Cherry Cobbler. This one, I think it was Gorgeous Grape and just Mossy Meadow or Old Olive, I think. So this one's Wild Wheat, Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. And this one I think was Shaded Spruce, Cherry Cobbler and Pretty Peacock, maybe? Anyway, we're going to have a little bit of a play. So we'll put our sample cards there. So what you need for this technique is the Fluid 100 watercolor paper, which is in our annual catalogue. Let me find it. So it's in the annual catalogue on page 118. So it's shown, it's listed down here. So you get, there it comes in 5x7 and you get 10 sheets. It's $15.75. I'll show you the pack in a second. And it's the best paper to use if you're doing a lot of watercoloring with aqua painters, and if spritzing, anything like that, it's really good paper to use. So that's where you'll find it. It's in the annual catalogue on page 118, and all these samples over here, I would say, have definitely used watercolor paper. Yes, definitely. So that's what we're doing. So let me show you how it comes. I just have a bag of scraps as well, but this is how the paper comes. So as I said, it's 5x7, and it's really good just to cut it in half at 3.5 inches, because that gives you 2 really good, nice sized card fronts if you're doing like a technique. So that's what I generally do. I just cut it in half, and yeah, then I can mat it onto a piece of cardstock. So it's always good to have your watercolor paper handy. And I just didn't get that back in the bag. I'll keep it out like that because I'll probably need a sample. Now some of these samples aren't the Stampin' Up watercolor paper, but some are. That's why I just keep all the scraps handy. So I'll just get a scrap out. So yeah, $15.75 in Australia for that pack of paper. You need a glass to get your circle for your wreath. So any type of glass. I found this was a really good one. The glass mat is great, and the little silicone thingy here, and you can see it stains with cherry cobbler, but that's okay. And you also need paper towels and your aqua painters. So they're the essential items to have on hand. So, and I have just, what have I done? I have got my host code on my cardstock, which is a bit silly. Not to worry, we can get around that. I've just cut very vanilla cardstock in half and scored it at 10.5. I've got it over here too. Goodness. Yeah, just a piece of very vanilla cardstock. I still have the thick very vanilla cardstock. I've still got a pack of that, so I'm using that, but just your normal very vanilla would work. And I do use very vanilla because I do think the watercolor paper goes better with it than it does with the basic white. Let me find something that's basic white. Have I got something handy? Here we go, this blue. I don't know if you can see the color difference. This is creamier, and when you put it onto basic white, even if you've got a matting piece, I just don't think it looks as nice. But if you think it looks okay, go for it. I just think it looks nicer with very vanilla. It could work with basic beige, but I just always go for very vanilla. That's my go-to color when I use watercolor paper. So let's put our card bases to one side because Denise has pushed it through that, and silly move. So I've got, this is my 5x7 watercolor paper cut in half at 3.5 inches, or it turns out to be 9 centimeters by 12.8 centimeters. So then your matting piece is 9.5 centimeters by 13.3. So that's just turning it back into metric. But yeah, I just do my matting piece half a centimeter bigger, lengthways and crossways, and then you get a nice matting piece. But we are going to put 2 matting pieces on one piece of watercolor paper far, far away because we do not want to get into a mess, because Denise tends to do that. Okay, so let me, oh, I tell you what else you need. I forgot to tell you the other thing you need. You need cotton buds. Now, if you're in America watching this, you probably won't know what a cotton bud is. It's a Q-tip. Americans call them Q-tips. In Australia, we call them cotton buds. So you will need, I just grabbed a few of those just to have on hand. And let me think what we're going to do. Let's do our rings first for the wreath. Now, I've got pebbled path this time. So let me get my pebbled path. And you can just see I'm putting my glass upside down into the ink pad to ink it all, the rim all up, get ink all over it. And I'm just going to, so this is this one. I put it down. I'm going to put it up a little bit, I think a little bit higher. There we go. That's too high, so you turn it over and you start again. Maybe I'll do it this way so I can see side on how high I'm going. There we go. And I've gone over a bit fast, so my next ring, I'll bring it over a bit to try and balance it out. And this one, I'll go down a little bit. So that's our wreath. Okay? So I'll just close that up. Put that to one side. And it's good to have your chamois that came with the glass mat, and just give that a wipe and put it to one side. Keep your chamois handy, you will need it. Okay, so I will put the sample card there, I think. And now I'm going to do this one with Pretty Peacock. So this will be my matting one with the Pretty Peacock matte behind it. So I am going to put Pretty Peacock there. So you need, the re-inkers work really well for this. And actually I don't need cherry cobbler that way. I found this worked okay with cherry cobbler. So what we're going to do is going to put a little bit of water into this, make it a little bit more juicy. There we go, not much, just a little bit. And what else am I going to do? Okay, so So then we're going to get one of our cotton buds or Q-tips, and we're going to dip it into the ink pad. And this one I'll go right round the wreath. And we're just going to put it onto the card and make our berries. So the more ink you get on to your cotton bud or Q-tip, the bigger your berries become. And we're just going round like so. See, you then don't have to re-ink for your 3 berries. I just thought this was such a cool idea, and I had to try it. I want my berry a bit more fuller. There we go. So back into the ink pad. You've got to be careful not to smudge it. So let's just move that over the way and turn it round so I don't get into a right mess, because we all know cherry cobbler can be a bit messy and we don't want that. Okay, so that's enough berries to start with. That's that. Now this is my shaded spruce re-ink, no, pretty in pink, sorry, re-ink, pretty peacock. What am I saying? My pretty peacock re-inker. And I'm just going to grab my aqua painter, and this is what I just do, a few little trials on my scrap before I start getting into it full on. And we just want to press our aqua painter down and flick it to make the leaves. Okay, so, and you know what, if it doesn't work out the way you want it, just start again. So I'm just going to press it down and flick. Well, it's quite dark, isn't it? You don't have to re-ink them. I'm just going to do a couple more here. I'd sort of go round and I do the leaves around my berries first. And you sort of think, oh, this isn't working, but it ends up working. I promise. And now I'm doing what I didn't say I'd do. Put them somewhere else. There you go. I could put them there. You sort of think, oh, that doesn't look really good, but it comes together, I promise. Just little flicks for your leaves. And they're a bit blobby. Not happy with that, but it's okay. We can get by. Now I'm just going to go back and see, I haven't even wet my aqua painter until just then. And I might put a couple here and a couple here. And it's really just playing. It's quite fun. And you can go back and fill in some more berries if you wish, because I think we need some. Let's just, well, that was a bit silly, that one, but it's okay. So then we'll get a cotton bud or Q-tip, and I'm just going to go back and put some single ones in here and there. And as you can see, it sort of starts to come together. The thing is to know when to stop. That's the thing. Okay, so now I am going to, what am I going to do? I don't want to get too much splatter in my center. So let me just close that up, and we'll just start splattering. Move our sample card out of the way because we don't want to splatter on that. And the splattering is quite fun. Okay, so that's that one, and now I'm going to get my one, and I'm going to put some cherry cobbler in here, just a little bit. You can still see. And I will get my aqua painter and just squeeze a bit of water into that. So it really is just playing. Okay, so now we're going to tap some red. That's not coming along too nicely. There we go, that's a bit better. So we shall put this lid back on and pick up our piece of watercolour paper and wipe our, our glass mat down, because we've got a bit of splatter going. And I should have moved my other sample card out of the way, but I think that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to get a stamp set, which I should have done in the first place. Okay, so these are the two. They're both retired. If you've got, let me think of the one that's in the annual catalogue. That's, they can go, they're done now. I've got this one, but some of those sentiments don't really work with this technique, so I wasn't going to use that. But there's another sentiment one in here if you've got that. I should have looked it up before I start. This one, there's Christmas labels one. Some of these would definitely work with this technique, but I don't have that set. So if you have that one, you could use that one, but I've just resorted to some retired ones. And as I said, I keep some of my retired sentiment sets because I really like doing that. Okay, I think we'll do our sentiment in cherry cobbler, and I've just got to find a sentiment now. I do like this one, Framed and Festive. That was such a good one. So we could do Fa La 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 La. Let's do that. Let me get a block. I'll get this block. Okay, and another reason why I have my sample, my little scrap, I just like to practice onto the watercolour paper. So I'm just going to put that there. Okay, so we shall close that one up. And let's put that over there. Sorry, this is techniques. I'm not very good at showing techniques, I don't think. But I'm trying. Okay, so I'll put that there. I'm going to put the lid on that before I get into a right mess. Okay, we'll move that out of the way. Now we're going to bring in, here it is. That's like our sample card. We're going to bring in a pretty peacock matting piece, and also our card base. So as I said, I'm using up some of my thick Very Vanilla. They have retired the thick Very Vanilla, but I still have some in my stash. But if you don't have thick, just use the normal thin one. It'll be fine. Or you could use a coloured card base. Just depends. So all I'm going to do is just mat that and then pop it on there on dimensionals. So let's grab our glue. Okay. See, nobody knows that that's not, we weren't happy with that. Because the watercolour paper is thick, so it doesn't sort of come through, which is good. Okay, if you wanted to, you could dauber around the edges, but I quite like just the splatter as a bit of a feature. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals. How quick and easy are these cards? I think they're so cool and so easy, and you really only need a sentiment stamp set. So I have got my Take Your Pick tool. This is a great tool to have in your arsenal of tools. It's got a pokey end to get the backs of your dimensionals off. And I've lost my bin. And it's also got a spatula end that you can pick up glue dots with or pick up embellishments. I tend to use the pokey end the most. This end has got a little putty tool on it, which you can buy replacements. And the putty tool is really good. You can pick up embellishments with that, and you can just tighten it up and more putty comes out. When that putty gets a bit tacky, just pull it off, throw it away, and more putty will start oozing out slowly. And it's not wet or horrible, but you can pick up embellishments with that. So let's pop this onto our card base. That doesn't seem to be folded down very well. Let's try that one more time and put that there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that on our card base like so, and then you can just put a bow, like I've done the cherry cobbler bow there. This one I used some retired ribbon. I might do a cherry cobbler bow because that's really lovely ribbon and it's current. Here we go. And our berry is a cherry cobbler. Now see how my leaves, I wasn't really happy with my leaves to start with, but now they look alright. So it's just a fun technique, and even though you sort of think, oh, that's going to look yucky, you let it sort of soak into the watercolour paper and it ends up looking quite nice. So let me just get my little bow sorted here. I'm just trying to make it smaller. There we go. And so sometimes it's just really fun to play with stamps, ink and paper. And and just play. You can get quite messy. Okay, so where's the glue dot? So this is another way you could use your Take Your Pick tool. So put that onto your glue dot, just get your pokey part out and lift it off like so. And I'm just going to put that at the bottom of our wreath like so. How cool, how simple. I just loved how simple it was. And let's get some bling. I put the blooming pearls on this one. Oh, I don't want to get into a mess with that. So I'll move that down, and I don't think I've got, oh, I think I do have pretty peacock ones. These are pretty peacock, I think, but they don't look pretty peacock. Look, oh, pretty peacock. We're using, oh yeah, pretty peacock. Okay, let's just go with it. I believe these ones are garden green. These ones are pretty peacock. So let's just place a couple around. Let's see. I might put one there. I'll put one up here. And I'm going to put one over here. And they just sort of tie in with our card. So that's the first one. So what do you think? It's so simple. And that's why I always like to have a really good Christmas sentiment stamp set, because you can do something really simple and just stamp the sentiment. So that's card number one. You could also put another sentiment inside. So that's the first one. So let's move that away. Don't want to get them muddled up. I'm getting a stack of these. So this is our landscape one, but before we do that, I want the cherry cobbler, but I do not want the pretty peacock anymore. So this is water. So I'm just going to squirt some in there, and we'll squirt some on that. And this is why you've got your paper towel. So let me just grab one paper towel. Normally I would run to the bathroom and wash this off, but because this is a video, I didn't want to do that. So you can just mop it up with your paper towel. I might do a little bit more water squirting. But these inks are water-based, and you just have to put your little silicone mat underneath the tap and it all washes off. But the cherry cobbler does stain. There we go. So that's pretty much tidied. Well, tidied that up until I did this. But see, then you get ink on you. Fun. Okay, throw that away. Put that over there. And we're going to use Old Olive this time. So I'll put some Old Olive in there. We'll use Old Olive and cherry cobbler. Whoopsie. And now the other thing I need to do with my paper towel is I need to clean off my aqua painters. I don't need to clean the cherry cobbler one. That's okay. Yeah, so this is what I need to do. So this is how you clean out your aqua painters. Just squeeze the water through until it runs clear, and then your aqua paint is ready to go with a different color. Okay, so that's why it's handy to have the paper towel around. Now let me find my other piece. So this time we're going to go landscape, so let's bring our glass back in, and this was Pebble Path. Shall we do a different wreath color? Let's see what we've got. I could do copper clay. Let's try copper clay, because I want something to stand out. So let's go a little bit different with the wreath. So, and we're going to go portrait this time. So that was Pebble Path. This one was Wild Wheat. So as I said, just stamp the rim of your glass in your ink pad. And oops, I didn't want to bring my head in. I'm just trying to center it. One down. That's not centered, is it? Turn it over, start again. Okay, down a little bit further. That'll do. We'll balance it by going over to the left a little bit. There we go. And maybe sort of in the middle. There we go. That's a bit smudgy, but that's okay because our berries and our leaves will cover that up. So that's Pebbled Path. Get my chamois, clean the rim of my glass off, and put my glass away. Okay, now we're going to get, what did I do with cherry cobbler? Here it is. So we're going to get our cherry cobbler again and do our berries. So we might do just half like this one, or 2/3. So let's start here. And as I said, you don't really have to re-ink your cotton bud or Q-tip up. It sort of goes for a bit with that ink on it. Maybe every 3 berries. How about that? That could sound like a plan, doesn't it? How cool is this? And so simple. Oh, those too close together. All right, we'll leave it at that, and then we'll come back and add more if we need to. So this is aqua painter. I'm just going to squeeze some into the Old Olive, and this is what I've got my scrap for, just to, yeah, okay. So here we go. Flick, press it down and flick it up. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And as I said, if they don't look like leaves to start with, don't worry, because they come good. Okay. That doesn't look very leafy. I'm turning it so I don't get myself into a mess. I'm going to do one there. practice on my scrap paper. I'm going to go back and add a couple over here. Turn it. And like, as you're doing it, you think, oh, this isn't going to work. But then when you come back at it and look at it, you think, actually, it doesn't look too bad. That berry's floating in the air, isn't it? Not to worry. So we're going to go this way round. So now I'm just going to come back and I'm just going to add some here and there, because I think it needs, I don't know if I'll add any more berries, I might, but you don't have to be very artistic, because goodness gracious, I'm not. I might put one in there. I might put one in there. And you can just come back and fill in some gaps if you're not happy. But I think I'm happy with that. Okay. I'm just thinking, what colour will I stamp in this? I might stamp cherry cobbler again, but let's close up our ink pad to start with. And move out our sample cards so we don't make a mess. And get a bit of ink onto our aqua painter, and now we're going to splatter. You know what? Splattering's the best part. It's so fun because you can be messy. Okay, so that's that one. Now where's my cherry cobbler one? This copper clay actually is taking on a bit of a cherry cobbler look, which is fine. So you can see I'm not putting that didn't work. Not putting too much splatter into my center of my reef, because I want to keep that legible for the sentiment. Okay, I think that will do. Let me just wipe up that. Put the lids back on. Move this out of the way. And we can throw that cotton bud out. And there we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, now I'll bring this back in, not that I really want to use it anymore, but, and let's have a look at a sentiment that we might put in it. So in this one I put, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I think this one's going to be too big. Yeah, I think that just sort of overtakes the inside of the wreath. I don't think that one's going to work. What's this one? I think that one would work. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Let's do that one. It's just really nice having some nice sentiments. Let's get this block out. And I'm just thinking, should I do that in Old Olive or should I do that? I think I'll do it in Old Olive. And I'll tell you why. Because the copper clay looks so much like cherry cobbler. I don't want sort of cherry cobbler to death. So, whoops. So, ink up your sentiment. Practice on a scrap piece of watercolor paper to make sure you've got enough ink coverage, because the watercolor paper is quite a lot thicker and it's porous, so it's got a little bit of a rough texture to it. So you just want to make sure your stamp is inked up really well, so you get a nice crisp sentiment. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so there we go. I push down quite hard when I'm using watercolor paper, and I'm going to clean that. So that the main thing is to remember, if you've got the glass mat, to clean after each lot of splattering, because otherwise you'll get splatter onto your sentiments and you don't, onto your cardstock watercolour paper, and you don't really want that. So move that out of the way, move that out of the way, and bring in our matching piece. Now I have got that a little bit over to the right, too much, but having done the berries and the leaves on the left kind of balances it out a bit. So where's my glue? Where's my glue? What have I done with it? I probably buried it. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so once again, just put glue on the back of your watercolour paper. Oops, I've just gone over the half hour. Sorry guys, I'll be finishing soon, and that's probably because I tried to do 2 cards. So I'm just putting that down like so. Bring my card base in. So I hope you've enjoyed this technique. It's just a bit of fun. Stamps, ink and paper, and a bit of bling. I'm going to do that. So you need paper towel, you need a glass to get your circle for your wreath, you need aqua painters, you need the watercolor paper. It's just really fun, and it makes super simple Christmas cards, but that are quite effective. There we go. Now I'm not going to put a bow on this one. I don't think I didn't on my sample card that's landscape. I used these gold dots that look so much like wild wheat. I think could use the juicery dots, but I think they're a bit big. I'm going to go with these gold ones again because I'm not using them much, because they sort of, to me, are a bit more yellow. That's a big one. I don't want that big. Let's go here. Oops. I should show you how to get this off with the that's my little lid so I don't stick on myself, with the putty end. Okay, so if you're going to get your embellishments off with the putty end, let me just get some putty happening. Look, see, I've got ink all over me. Fun. And you just pull it off, and you can just push it down. So pull it off with the putty end. Where will I put this one? Put it down here. Yeah, why not? And then push it down. Now it sticks to the putty, but there's just enough to pull it off. So you take your pick tool, is a really handy little gadget. And as you might have seen the other day, I used it to untangle a fine chain. So it has multiple purposes. Okay, so these are our cards. Let me move this out of the way before I put something into it. And you can also get, that was today's card, that was the other one. Top 2 are my samples. They're the 2 cards we made. You can also get a take your pick crafters tips. I haven't actually used these yet, but these are an additional thing you can buy, and it has a rotary blade to do perforations. It's got a craft knife, and this one looks like, to me, I can't get it out of the box. It looks like a dentist tool, which is a bit horrifying because I don't like the dentist. Can you see that? It's a bit like a dentist tool. I don't like that. But this is an addition. It's another little pokey end, and these all go into both ends. Oh no, that's just the putty end, sorry, I apologize. Oh no, these ones will go into that end. Look, see, I haven't even investigated. I can't get them out of the box. There we go. That will go into that end, see? So it's a tool that And it's a craft knife, very sharp. So it's a tool that you can do this add-on kit. But as I said, I haven't played with it yet because I've only just got it. See, that screws into the putty end, and that's like does perforations. Ouch! And cuts you, so be careful. So the take your pick tool is a really good, yes, see, don't do that, see, I just cut myself. Don't do that, that was silly. It's a really good tool to have, and now I've lost my putty end. There it is. Can't recommend it enough. So that's the additions kit, and this is just your normal take your pick tool. And if you're doing die cutting, you can get the die brush to fit in the putty end, and that will roll over all your intricate dies to get all the little pieces out. So it's got so many uses and untangles fine jewelry. So there we go. They're our cards. I hope you really like that technique. It's a bit of fun. Let's come back to me. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure that my little silicone mat with all my ink in it doesn't get damaged, get thrown everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed that bit of a technique video today. So thank you so much for watching. You might have seen my November host code. I'll put that up on my blog, and I'll put it on Instagram as well. That's up and running. So if you'd like to place an order with me over $50, you'll go in the, not the draw, you'll go into the December Make and Create Wednesday card and a cuppa. So that will probably, I won't do that as the last. Oh, I wonder if I should do that as the last Wednesday of the month. Oh no, the last Wednesday of the month in December is Christmas Day. I won't be doing that. I'll do it the Wednesday before Christmas. So yeah, I'll send out a little card pack, and we'll make a card, and if you place an order $50 or more during the month of November. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and share my channel as I try to grow it, and I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on Wednesday for Card and a Cuppa. Bye for now.